After months of diplomatic gridlock, momentum is building around a potential ceasefire in Ukraine, following excellent talks in Paris on April 18th, featuring US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ukraine's Andriy Yermak, and European officials. Leaders now head to a high-stakes London summit next week to finalize ceasefire terms and outline a European-led peacekeeping framework. Hosted by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the London summit marks Europe's increasing leadership in peace efforts, with Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron now driving the agenda. Europe is shaping a roadmap centered on Ukrainian sovereignty and regional stability, moving beyond previous US-Russia back-channel efforts. US Special Envoy Keith Kellogg added urgency to the moment with a pointed statement on Fox News ahead of the summit.
And we talked about going forward with a potential ceasefire in the near term. And that's the reason we're returning to London this week to actually lock that down. I think there's tremendous opportunities. NATO's off the table, and we should have some pretty good results next week in London.
Kellogg's declaration that NATO's off the table aligns with Russia's core demands, but also hints at new security proposals. These may include a European-led defense umbrella for Ukraine, offering protection without formal NATO membership. Adding a new dimension, Russian President Vladimir Putin has publicly signaled openness to direct bilateral talks with Ukraine for the first time since the 2022 invasion. Speaking in a recent interview, Putin referenced potential discussions on halting civilian infrastructure strikes and called for reciprocal willingness from Kyiv.
We have always said that we have a positive attitude towards any peace initiatives. We hope that the representatives of the Kiev regime will also feel the same way.
Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov later confirmed Putin's message, telling Interfax that the president was referring to bilateral negotiations with Ukraine specifically regarding civilian targets. When the president said that it was possible to discuss the issue of not striking civilian targets, including bilaterally, the president had in mind negotiations and discussions with the Ukrainian side. France and the UK are working to translate these openings into tangible outcomes. Macron is scheduled for a state visit to the UK in May, hosted by King Charles III, building on the leaders' earlier trip to Washington, where they secured conditional support from President Trump for a European peacekeeping mission. Central to this effort is a proposed 30,000-strong coalition of the willing, tasked with securing Ukraine post-ceasefire. The UK has pledged troops, France supports a phased rollout, while Germany remains cautious about direct military involvement. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has rejected any settlement that compromises territorial integrity and is demanding full participation in all talks. His position reflects concerns about being sidelined in a West Russia negotiation framework. US President Donald Trump weighed in on April 20th via Truth Social, expressing hope that a peace deal could be reached within the week, citing the potential for big business opportunities with a post-war Ukraine. However, Trump and Rubio have also warned that the US could pull back if talks stall. Public response to these diplomatic moves has been mixed, ranging from cautious optimism to skepticism over the durability of Trump's support and Putin's intentions. Macron's visit may be crucial in aligning strategies ahead of Trump's September UK trip. With both Russia and the West signaling openness and London poised to host decisive negotiations, the moment could mark a turning point in the war. Still, the outcome hinges on whether the ceasefire framework delivers real, enforceable security, and whether the parties, including Ukraine, remain at the center of the process.